Building in The Sims 2 isn't that hard, at least once you figure out what you want to do exactly. Hey guys, my name is 𝓲𝓵 and welcome back to CozyPixels. Today I thought I will show you a few building tricks and tips and little guides for The Sims 2 because I think everything that you want to build in this game is possible, but it needs a little bit more fine-tuning than, for example, The Sims 4. And I just want to show that building in The Sims 2 in 2021 isn't that hard, actually. So there were a few suggestions from you guys, and thank you very much for that. This is how I got the inspiration for this video, because you guys are always so sweet about my builds, and I had a question to show how to build different stairs and like split levels, so I thought we will do that in this video. And I have a few other tips that I want to share as well, so let's jump into the first one. Or maybe I should say it's like the tip before the tip, because the first one I want to say is that don't be afraid to look up house plans. This is what I do all the time, and you guys are always so sweet telling me that you like my builds so much. But basically what I do is I go to 𝓲𝓵𝓼𝓭, choose one that I like and rebuild it in The Sims 2 as far as I can. I'm not really coming up with anything from scratch. I am not an architect, I'm not an interior designer, so I couldn't really build all those things from my own. So what I would recommend you to do as well, if you feel like you can't build pretty houses, just go to 𝓲𝓵𝓼𝓭 and choose one and rebuild it in the game. So the first tip, the first actual tip is I would recommend you to add these two cheats into your user_startup.cheat file. In another video I already talked about this file, but basically what you have to do is create a file called user_startup.cheat in your documents, The Sims 2 and config folder, and here you can enter cheats that you want to always be turned on in your game. And if you enter these two that I put on the screen, basically you will be able to rotate diagonally all the time, and you can also toggle quarter tile placement if you press Ctrl and F at the same time, and you can just turn it on and off that way. And I think that's really useful. Both of these are things that I couldn't build without anymore, and especially like because in the later games they are enabled by default. I think these are really useful, especially if you change to The Sims 2 from newer games. So the next one is more like a little guide on how to build split level stairs. I want to show you like in a little basic way on how can you do this. Of course, we have this version where you just build a room and choose this split level interior foundation, slap it down, choose one of the modular stairs, and basically just do this. You see it says can't place step because I misplaced the thing, but wait a second. You see it marks the bottom, and basically it still says you can place step, so you have to enter move objects on. And this way you will be able to place your step. So one thing that you will have to pay attention to when wanting to build split level stairs is that one tile should include 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's because if you want to build more complicated ones than this, then you will have to do a lot of math to calculate on where to put the stairs exactly and where to put the foundation. So let's say you want to build a little more complicated than this. One thing that you will need to do is enter the cheat bold prop on screen course. And what this does is basically lets you to terraform where you already have objects. So the first thing we want to do is, for example, let's just quickly do one where we raise the terrain by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. After this, we do a little foundation, and you can see the height of it is taller. And you see this is about 2 foundation high. So if you want to do more variety, what you have to keep in mind is that if you raise the terrain with the small one, 2 clicks is 1 height, 4 is 2 height, and so on and so on. So what this means is that if we put the stairs here, hopefully this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see, because one tile contains 4 steps. That's what we need to remember. Okay, so basically after this, let's say we put a wall here, and one wall should be 4 foundations high. So what we need to calculate here is that there will be another 8 steps. So we will need to put a wall here, one tile of floor here, and this should work out perfectly. See, and now you have your split level stairs. Building inside a house already is a bit more complicated. One tricky thing with the foundations is that if you use this foundation with the brick or the wood or any of these and not the split level one, then if you are on the first floor, you won't see the stairs, only if you go to the second floor. But unfortunately, I am not aware of a method you can do it with this split foundation thing, because if you check it out, you can't raise this one. You see, it's not doing anything and it just splits it into halves. And if you want to put it on the slope, it says that you can't place it on slopes. Now, if you want to build it inside a house, that's where things get a little bit tricky. Doing it outside is pretty easy and pretty straightforward. But let's try to build a house around this bad boy. So first thing first, raise the terrain again by 4. Let's put this bad boy here. And another one here. Flatten this. And put down the stairs. Build the landing. And so far that's it. Now let's build a small house around it. So basically you just have to plan your house beforehand. I don't know, this will be just like a teeny tiny small house. And build the walls around. It makes it a little weird, but for the second, don't worry about that. What you want to do first is complete the second floor of the house. So your wall should look something like this. Connect it to the edge of the landing, and you can see that it raised its height. It looks a little bit funky, and you can see I placed a tile here because otherwise I couldn't have connected the walls. So after you've done this, you want to come here to the foundation tool, put the little marker at the corner, which can be pretty hard, but with a little bit of practice you can manage, and just draw another 2 tiles foundation. You can see now your wall looks a little bit wonky, which you don't have to worry about because we will fix that pretty soon. So do the same thing on the other side as well. Connect your walls to the edge of the foundation. And do the same thing once again, fix the landing from bottom to the part where it's raised. And now you can see we have our little walls connected, which should be pretty good. Now what you want to do is finish the walls. And you can see our house is a little bit weird, different wall heights and seems to confirmed. And yes, so what we need to do is go 1 height above and place floor tiles, and you can see the more floor tiles I place, the height just becomes normal. From the outside, our little house is normal, and from the inside we have split level stairs. But when you go to the first floor, you can see that the wall heights are a little bit wonky indeed. So what we will need to do here is building this little space, and building this little space here as well, and fill the room like this. You see we have this little pointy thing, but you don't have to worry about that just now. What you need to do is the same thing that you had to do before. Go back to the foundations and fix it from the proper height and back to normal. And now you see now there's like a black hole in our house, which we have to fix. And what you have to do here is go to the terrain tool and just flatten this part like it's simple terrain. Or you can just do it with putting floor tiles. That should ease it as well. I for some reason like to use the terrain tool much more, so there's that. But if you prefer the floor tiles, you can do that. And you have to do the same thing here. So let's just flatten the thing. And now flatten this again. Unfortunately, on the inside, it still looks a little bit wonky on the first floor. Obviously, you can just delete this if you want. And like put something else here. Also, you can try to do different things like this if you like this better, but then you have to redo the whole straightening thing again, which is a bit tedious, but it's not that bad actually. So yeah, you can just do a little bit trial and error and see how you like it the best. Obviously, you won't be able to see the other stairs anyway, only if you go into like photo mode and press page up, then obviously you can take nice photos of it, but in live mode it's not really working out, unfortunately. I would say if you want to have modular stairs, there are a lot of great CC lying around, but obviously those don't have the animations. So there are multiple options, to be honest, to create modular stairs into your house. One other thing is that it's not recommended to use brick and stuff like that on the place where you have the modular stairs, because they won't work, obviously because of the modified wall heights. But if you put something that doesn't have pattern, it looks perfectly fine. So that would be for modular stairs. I hope you guys thought it was useful. The whole thing is basically based on the constraint floor elevation cheat, which you have to use. And the next tip I want to show is around that one as well. So I will quickly show you how to build arched bridges in this one. And of course, for building bridges, what you will need to do is put down one of these. And I will warn you that before you start with the raising of the heights, you will have to decide what type of bridge do you want, what floor do you want on it, because later on you cannot change this. So I would say let's go with a bridge like this. You will have to put the railings on it first as well, because later on you can't change anything on it. So let's just slap something like this on here. Very pretty. And now you have to turn on the constraint floor elevation cheat by typing constraint floor elevation force into the cheat bar. Oh, of course, you will have to put the stairs as well. And now what you will have to do is start raising the terrain under the bridge. I would recommend going to the first floor and slowly but surely do it like this. First only one, then two. I mean, it depends on how you want your bridge to look like. I would say we are going like this. 3. And you see, now we have an amazing little arched bridge. Now we turn off the cheat and quickly flatten this and put a little pond under. Like this. Ta-da! You see, it was much easier than the previous tutorial, but I think arch bridges are super cool. I mean, you can probably make it look nicer and like more arched. It's up to your preference. How do you want it to look like? I just wanted to quickly show that how can you do this. Obviously, by raising the terrain in different ways, you can create different arched bridges. Next one is still tied to the constraint cheat. Later on, I will just refer to it as CFE. So I want to quickly show how you can build an underground garage. So one thing you will need to do for this one is to build a basement, and the way you can build a basement very easily is just quickly putting down 3 stairs like this, and the bottom of the last one will be the basement of your basement. And you flatten it like this. You can delete these guys here and put parking space here. Now you turn on the cheat, CFE cheat for the rescue. And what you want to do is flatten this one with the garage. You can see that this is floating in thin air now. So what we will have to do is to quickly delete it and press Ctrl Z. And now you can see it's on the first floor, which is perfect for us. So what we will have to do now is to fix this one a little bit. Yeah, and now we come in with the cheat once again and just start leveling the whole thing to make it a little bit more smooth for our little cars to go there. Okay, so this is not the prettiest, but I think it will do. And we have to do this once again. Delete it and press Ctrl Z or like undo. And here we go. This is your underground garage basically. And obviously you can just build walls around it. Just turn off the cheat. Build your walls. I think it ends here, so you can just place the garage door and it works perfectly fine, and you can just build the rest of your house on top of it. I think once you get used to the cheat, it's really not that hard to work with it. Obviously this doesn't look good, sorry guys, I was just trying to show how to do that. The next tip I would want to give is basically, yeah, just a tip. It's not really a guide anymore, but I just want to say that if you want to build more exciting houses, then columns are a super good way to give a little more depth to the builds. And I only recently learned this, and since then I put columns everywhere. But basically what you can do is choose a nice column, toggle quarter tile placement, so you can just basically place it anywhere and just snap it onto the corners of a few of the rooms. It makes it look super nice, and especially if you use different types of wallpapers, this can really give a nice divider look, and I absolutely love it. I wish I would have known this earlier, because columns are super good way to like divide space and also fill empty spaces at the same time. So I would recommend doing that. And also if you are building, don't be afraid to use different types of wallpapers. I think it's always super cute, and in my speed builds you can see as well that I just mix and match all these types of wallpapers, and it looks super cute and like gives a little more personality to the houses. So I would recommend trying that out if you want a little bit color and a little bit of mix and match. And especially the brick walls inside the house are my thing. I love to do that. And also these little wall columns, I adore them so much. Also outside of the houses, what I usually do is that I mix and match stone and siding as well. So usually, not in this one especially, but usually what I do is that I cover the popping out parts in stone and just leave the rest of the house with siding. And that like gives a little bit more depth to the houses. And I love that so much. I mean, I'm not sure I saw any house in real life that has this much siding, because siding is not really a common thing where I live, but I absolutely adore doing this in the game. And I want to quickly talk about the roofs in this game, because they can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but actually once you learn a few tricks about them, they can be really nicely customizable. So one thing that you can change the roof angle here, and I only recently find out that you can put windows in these slouched ends of the roofs if you put it before changing the height. So for example, if you have nice windows, which you can put it here, then you put the window in, and then you can change the roof height until obviously it doesn't cover the window, because if you set it too low, then it's not really working out anymore. You see it's just clipping through, but if you remove it and try to put it back after changing the height, it won't let you because it will be just like this blank window thing. And I only recently realized that, so that's something useful to know. So these would be my small building tips. Let me know, guys, what do you think? Let me know if there are anything that you would like to hear about. I hope this was useful. I just thought about making this video for a while and I kept postponing it, so I hope you guys like it. Let me know in the comments, leave a like if you did, subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!